Hi there, welcome to the 420 Lifestyle Show. I'm Carly Marley, and we're joined now by Jeremiah Vandermeer.
The big
What's
bag of
this you
weed.
got here?
Some blue lightning or blue widow? Wait, what is it? I can't remember now. I'm gonna find out. Hold on, I'll get the label.
It smells amazing. Some delicious flowers there. Yeah, here, get you.
Blue widow. The blue widow. Microphone.
Yeah, we'll get you in right in the middle. Perfect.
Okay. Blue widow. It's blue widow.
Awesome. Thank you.
Do you still need me, or should I? Am I cool? I'll come back in a bit.
You want to come back in a bit? Okay, cool. All right, then do you want to, we can, yeah. Well, you can sit wherever. Awesome. Okay, well.
Okay.
Welcome to the 420 Lifestyle Show. We're joined here with
Bcbudgal.
So you are our new co-host.
Yes, I am. Yay, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So just to give people a little introduction about yourself, when did you first start smoking weed and what attracted it to you?
Well, growing up, both my parents, they both smoked it, consumed it around me ever since I was a little kid, as bad as that is. So I was always around it. But I didn't start smoking until probably I was like 11 or 12, as bad as that might be. But yeah, I was always around it. So, and then I just started selling and kind of went from there. So, and growing up in a small town, like in the shoe shop, it's always around. So there's always ways of getting it. And it was better than, say, doing other drugs. So,
yeah, I'd say cannabis is definitely a healthy alternative, even to drinking for sure.
Oh, definitely.
If you're going to do anything to relax and have fun, I'd say cannabis
definitely.
is for sure the
And that's what
safest
my
way to
parents
go.
always said too. They're like, we'd rather you smoke pot than drink and do other drugs. So,
Yeah. When did your cannabis enthusiasm turn into cannabis activism?
I'd probably say definitely when I moved down here to the coast, so within a few years ago, and definitely working with other companies and finding out, helping people and learning how cannabis actually helps them, and more learning like about cannabinoids and all those sorts of things, like actual medicinal uses to it, not just like, oh, let's smoke a joint and get high, So yeah. Yeah, and I used to work at a tattoo and piercing shop, and I was a tattoo apprentice, and I was there for about 4 or 5 years, but things didn't work out there. So obviously, maybe I'm meant to do more so this stuff than what I was doing before. So yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You definitely fit in the community, that's for sure. Well, we should definitely get high.
definitely.
While we're
I
doing
also
the show.
brought a little goodie from Moda Cannabis Products. It's a milk chocolate bar. It has 125 milligrams of THC, so we can crack that open and share that too.
Okay, that's
Also
fun.
have some Canadab alcohol wipes in case we run out.
Awesome. It's always good to be prepared. Here, why don't we show this off in the shatter can?
Oh.
Here, wait. I got nails
Don't
today.
slide
I can
away.
just grab it with my nails. That's some Moby Dick shatter from El Dorado Extracts. Available now at 307 West Hastings on the second floor, and we've got more details about that later on in the show. Awesome, so you can do some dabs of that. Ooh, and eat chocolate, that's always
And then I also have some CBD isolate from Miss NV too.
Ooh,
Brought that
okay,
too.
we should put that up on the camera so we can get into that. I love the CBD
I
isolate.
just dip my dabs inside of it, so. I also have more goodies too we can try out.
How's that? Is that good? Awesome. Wicked. All right, so we'll do some dabs of that.
And I also brought more shatter from Cannabis Extraction. They're mainly on Instagram, but I have 4 kinds that we can try. So
Wow.
more goodies.
That's exciting. All right. We're going to get high this show.
Yeah, we are.
That's awesome. What time are we at here? All right, so we're going to call up Rachel from Ganjasana in Colorado and ask her some questions about the yoga that they do out there, which is going to be pretty cool. So we'll get high and do that. So Alyssa, did you want to call Rachel up? I'm really excited. It's pretty cool. It's always a guessing game with Skype. You're never sure if it wants to cooperate. Okay, we should try some of the Moby Dick by itself first because it's so tasty
so
on its
good.
own, and then we'll add some of the CBD. This is. It's too hot now.
We'll grab my little rig since we're waiting.
Nice. No, we don't hear anything?
Hello?
Oh, hello?
Hi.
Hi, is this Rachel?
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Good. Can you see me on the video?
We're working on getting the video of you up right now.
Okay, perfect.
That's awesome. So you're coming to us from Colorado, right?
Yeah, I'm right now in Denver, Colorado.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, we've got the picture up now as well? Awesome. So the first question I wanted to ask you is, what does Ganjasana mean?
So it's the combination of ganja, cannabis, plant medicine, and asana, which in Sanskrit means yoga poses. So what we're doing is combining the plant medicine with these ancient yoga practices.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's actually an ancient practice that began in India thousands of years ago. The practice of yoga really began with the plant medicine being this holy sacred plant that people could commune with in this terms of understanding their higher consciousness.
Very cool. Was cannabis one of the plants that they used back then as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely regarded as a holy and sacred plant. And if you look at some of the ancient yogic texts, you can read that they use things like bhang, Bhang, was one of the names of their elixirs that they would make with the cannabis plant.
Very cool. So how exactly does your Ganjasana, exactly does your yoga work?
So, what we do actually starts with the plant medicine. That's one of the main focuses is really having true plant medicine that's grown from the earth. So, we only work with cannabis that's grown in what's called living organic soil. And so, we grow with methods that are regenerative, in which the outputs are greater than the inputs. So, we really like to pride ourselves on working with cannabis companies that grow in living organic soil and that use cultivation methods that are respectful of the environment as well as the plant and ultimate end user.
That's awesome. Can you
Yeah.
explain a little bit about the plant ceremony?
Yeah, so my background personally is in plant and soil sciences. And when I was in college, I went and studied with the Shipibo tribe out of Peru. And so ever since then, I've continued to go back to Peru. I actually just got back this December. I spent about a month down there. I've been working with the same shaman from that Shipibo lineage, and they work a lot with what's called the plant spirit. And so our ceremonies come are stemmed off of the Shipibo lineage, where we can learn to connect with the spirit of the plant, ultimately to align with our own spirit. And so our mission is to help people to build relationships with plants in this healthy way, in which they can build a deeper connection with the plant medicine.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it was like learning under the Shipibo tribe of the shamans of Peru?
Sure. Yeah, it was definitely a life-altering experience, and I think that's what keeps bringing me back. I began my studies as a pre-med student, and it was so transformative to study with the Shipibo shamans that I actually, instead of going to medical school, I just continued my studies with them. And they live close to nature, and they live out in the middle of the jungle and the Amazon rainforest. And so they are deeply immersed in this plant spirit connection. And in order to be a Coriando or Corianda, which is the female version, it's something that's passed down through the lineages, usually on a family line. And so the shaman that I've been working with, her name is Estella. She's been teaching me the methods and the ways in which she communicates with the plants. And so one way that they do that is they'll diet on a specific plant. And what that means is they'll just use that plant for, say, a couple months or even up to a year. And they'll use certain things like finding that plant's song. And so during ceremony, they'll sing the song of the plant spirit to the people in the ceremony to help bring out that plant spirit. So you could sort of say, I've been working on a cannabis diet, so to speak.
That's awesome. Very cool. So how do people, if they're in the Colorado area, how do they get involved?
Well, I got involved through. How do people in Colorado get involved with the ceremony? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. So we allow anyone who is of the legal age, so if you're over 21, to come to our ceremonies. And so far, we've had them in Denver and also in Boulder, and we're currently expanding nationally. So right now we have some ceremonies that we're planning out in Las Vegas and California, Washington and Oregon, and all over the place, so that people can start to access this type of plant spirit relationship all over, where they also have access to clean cannabis medicine. I'll also be having some online classes that are launching actually next week, that'll be available through Green Flower Media, so people can join from their home if they're interested in doing that.
That's very cool. That's awesome. And can you tell everyone where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, so we're at Ganjasana, Ganjasana. And so that's our social media handle for Facebook and Instagram. And my name is Rachel. So my email is rachel@ganjasana.com. And all of the information is available on our website to sign up for our classes. And I'm always happy to answer any questions that people have. I deal a lot with people who have different ailments or diseases. So I'm love talking about this practice and how it can help people. I myself have healed my own cancerous tumor. I've shrunk my tumor over 20 millimeters through this practice. And so I love talking about the healing benefits. And that's really our mission, is to help everybody heal and have their most optimal health and wellness possible.
Can you tell us a little bit about your healing process?
Yeah, so I personally have been working with cannabis for healing my own tumor, and I found that if you use different types of cannabis that, say, might have pesticides in them when they're grown, it's not as effective as I found with using that clean plant medicine. And so I've been using like cannabinoids like CBD, cannabidiol, on a daily basis, as well as whole plant extracts, juicing, and THC for complete whole body healing methods. And what I found is that through incorporating our mindful body integrated medicine of this yoga practice is where we can start to really heal on that deep cellular level.
Wow, that's awesome. Very informative. I wanted to ask you one more thing before you go.
Sure.
I noticed on your website in the About section, it talked about a grant being given to you from the Cosmic Sister Plant Spirit Medicine. Can you tell us a little bit about that grant?
Yeah, so that was actually the trip I just got back from
Okay.
this December. And the grant I got was the Plant Spirit Medicine grant for ayahuasca plant medicine psychedelic therapy. And so that's a grant that's also sponsored by MAPS, which is the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. And so they're continuing to do the work with the Shipibo tribe shamans, and their main plant that they work with is the ayahuasca plant, which is a psychedelic, but also it's seen as this deep medicine. And so for myself in working with that plant, it's really opened up my relationship and perspective in the way in which we build relationship with cannabis plant medicine.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this information with us. You'll have to come on the show again sometime and give us another update.
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Have an awesome day.
Thank you. You too.
Oh, it's almost 4:20. We should roll a joint.
Yeah, we should roll a joint.
You were doing a joint. We got.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You have to ask
Regardless.
Jerem. I can't remember what it
Whatever
was.
he said at the beginning.
It's blue something or purple something. Blue or purple something. It's a color.
I just held it next to my Blue Widow Noggin and smelled it, and I would almost swear.
Regardless, we need to roll a
need to roll
joint.
some of this.
Like
It's
I'm like,
almost-
what are we? We're just
It's 4:19.
sitting here,
We gotta.
What are we
get
doing?
this
We
joint
need
rolled.
What
Get
is happening?
These bangers hot.
We're just not with it. We're not with it.
So I wanted to ask you another question.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the companies that you work with in the industry.
Well, I work with Moda Cannabis products. They're a big one too. Mainly edibles, but they also do topicals, tinctures. They're making soaps now, bath bombs, sort of things.
Here, wait, just let's see how much it is. Sick. Okay.
What else do they make? Drinks like tea, lemonade. Like at the Cannabis Hemp Conference, we had the pink lemonade and the iced tea.
Oh yeah, the Moda lemonades
it
are
was
so
good.
tasty.
And yeah, it's nice because the people, like I know this one lady, for instance, she was actually taking a bunch of medication for sleep and pain and all these things. And she always said to me, well, I don't want to smoke it and get high. And I was like, okay, well, I work for this edibles company, and I'm sure you would like these candies. So, yeah, I think I got her like the little cola bottle ones at first. And she eats 1 or 2 of those before bed, and that's all she needs. So, you know, everyone says, oh, well, why do you make these low dose things? And it's like, well, not everyone needs a high dose. Like, not everyone has a high tolerance. So, yeah, I think it's good for everybody. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Those, I do work with Miss Envy
Happy
sometimes.
420!
Yes.
Yay! Okay, we got these. Oh, he made it in time. Bryson's sparking up the doobie. Here, wait, we've got a third mic here under the floor. If you want, we can pick that up, and then we can squeeze in.
Happy 420.
That was like, oh, it's good organization. You were before.
Perfect.
Well, then I better bring all my gear over.
My Tucci over.
We might have some guests rotating in through this spot, and then you can hop into the hot spot as that happens. How does that sound?
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
The hot spot.
The hot spot.
I like that.
Um,
I need assistance all the time.
I need assistance all the time.
I feel you.
You good? I think I'm good.
So how have you been, Carly?
I've been very good. I've been very busy, working hard on the website, getting ready some videos and
Did you
stuff.
spend any time at the new Broadway location this weekend?
I did. I spent some time at Cannabis Culture on Broadway. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because it was pretty good fun over there with Mark this weekend.
It was. I actually have a little video, a short video, just giving a little tour of that location. So maybe it'd be a fun time to show that off now.
Yeah, we got
When
to,
Alyssa's back from the
definitely got
control
to try the
panel.
location. Again.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a big dub. That's okay. Is this? Oh yeah, we're gonna do with isolate this time. I think it's time now. Should warm it up.
One more time so this Blue Widow.
Yeah, do it up. I feel like we need to constantly have a joint going. Just saying.
Yeah, I helped open the dispensary on Broadway this morning, 10 o'clock.
All
And
right.
then busted a move down here immediately at 3:30, and then here I am. And then I'll be closing the dispensary on Broadway, or on Davie tonight, actually, sorry. It's easy to confuse them.
I was like, we were driving here. It's like, oh no, right on Davie or
Oh,
left
yeah.
on Davie. I was like, no, man, wrong location.
Yeah, I pretty much directed these guys to the wrong Cannabis Culture location along the
Wrong way.
It's been interesting trying to keep track of all the strains as well in the various different dispensaries. You know?
It's true. It can get tricky.
Well, a customer asked me about a strain. It's like, well, just give me a minute. We're gonna take a look. It's it's been changing constantly from location to location and day to day.
Look at the crystal left on the table, man. Like,
Yeah, that Blue Widow's just
Nuts.
decked out with tritus.
That's tasty. Okay.
Thank you, boss.
Oh, Bryson needs a dab
You're
too.
the best.
yes, Bryson does
I,
need
I brought dabs actually.
Ooh.
I've got some Shatter Shack rosin. I've got God's green. No, it's green crack God Bud, and then I've got Old School Haze, and they are
Wicked.
deadly.
deadly. So I'll twist this up, and then we will
Whoa.
dab some. We'll get some.
Cool. And then we've got here. Wait. Why don't we get Celeste? Do you want to give him a dab of,
Yeah,
of the
I will do that.
Moby Dick from El Dorado? So tasty. I think this is honestly one of my new favorite types of extracts. This I love Moby Dick. I've always loved Moby Dick, but El Dorado makes it really well. And like I'd say this Congo Live resin. There's a few of my like favorite types of extracts, but this Moby Dick shatter is
I've been making my way back to the hash. I've been dabbing THC distillate, and then just lots of hash.
I really like this the distillate.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge hash person. I like hash and I like full melt hash, but I find like classic hash, I like it to help me sleep.
Yep.
But it's just if I smoke a joint with my friends of hash, like I'm probably gonna need to take a nap on the couch. It has that like heavy indica effect to me more so than smoking a bat of heavy indica does.
Ideally, you want to go for the melty hash, because then you can just stick a chunk of that on with your shatter.
Yeah.
You can like dab your shatter. With
See,
a
when
little bit
I
of
can
hash,
dab
more
it, I
full.
find it doesn't have that same like
Yeah.
crazy sleepy effect.
Yeah, it's not like candy. The
Yeah.
dabs are just like candy, no matter which way you put it.
It's true. Dabs are so tasty. This is a candy dab, so you'll like this one. It's very flavorful. I was gonna ask. Oh wait, first we're gonna play that video of Cannabis Culture on Broadway. It's just a short little one, just to give you guys an idea of the new location at 3175 West Broadway. All right, so that's from Cannabis Culture on Broadway, 3175 West Broadway. Oh, got another torch here. There we go. Yeah, that makes life easier. Much better. Okay, and I was going to ask you what your favorite part about working in the cannabis industry was.
To be honest, I like helping people. I think it's just the people as well too. Like, yeah, obviously getting medicated and obviously whatnot is awesome too. But meeting new people, helping people, that's a huge thing to me in this industry. So, yeah, like I said, it's not about just getting high. So
No. That's just a nice perk that comes
yes,
with
like
it.
we are right now. Makes me feel all happy.
What about you, Bryce? What's your favorite part about working in the cannabis industry?
Well, it's a good excuse to be in Vancouver, which is always, any excuse to be in Vancouver is a good one. I don't know, I just always think back to when I voted for Justin Trudeau some time ago, and all the arrests and everything that's going on. That's pretty much all I think of. Who really knows what's going to happen? I mean, anybody who believes in cannabis and cannabis legalization would never put Bill Blair in charge. So
No.
that's an interesting dynamic. You know, I
Yeah.
have people come in the dispensary all the time saying, "Well, doesn't Justin Trudeau support the legalization of cannabis?" And it's like, well, I mean, who in their right mind would put somebody who's been, who has on their resume so many X amount of marijuana arrests? You know, Bill Blair. You know, it's absolute madness to have this guy in charge of the task force.
No,
And I know it's been brought up time and time again that this guy should not be on the task force, but that's what I think of. Is like, that's why I'm happy to be here working in the industry. Is just like, because it's a complete joke that's going on within the liberal promises. So, I don't know. It's the broken liberal promises that make me happy to be here educating the public on what's really going on. Because we still have people coming in every single day saying, well, isn't it going to be legalized in a few months? And we'll see. We'll see. I think us cannabis activists have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's what everybody says too. They're like, "Oh, it's just going to be legalized anyway soon." It's like, well, it's just not. It's not that easy.
There's even people in Vancouver too that already think it's legalized. They're like, well, whatever, it's already legalized. And we're like, no.
Someone came into our Broadway location this morning and said, I just bought my first legal cannabis. It's like, well, it's...
Not really.
Peaceful civil
Activists,
disobedience, right?
So we had another cool little something that I got up to down at Cannabis Culture on Broadway, and I interviewed the lovely Brittany Anne Guerra from one of our she's a part owner of the Cannabis Culture on Broadway, and she's also the owner of another one of our Cannabis Culture franchises that we haven't really talked about very much on Pot TV. So I'll kind of let the video do the speaking for me. Alyssa can roll that now while we keep rolling up doobies and taking dabs. And you should keep doing the same. Derbs.
Smoke with us.
So I'm here with Brittany today. And I was hoping you could tell us about your start with Cannabis Culture.
Well, I actually got my job at Cannabis Culture 7 years ago. Mark had just got sent to jail in Port Coquitlam. And Jody was online posting about how she was super stressed and needed letters transcribed and she needed an assistant. So I ran downtown as fast as my little legs could carry me, and I told Jody I was who she was looking for. And she's like, okay, fine, transcribe these letters, that's cool. So then I'm sitting there, transcribing for about 6 hours, because Mark loves to talk. And all of a sudden the phone rings, and it's Mark on the phone saying, Jody, I found you an assistant, Nancy Potter, who was already a little bit involved in the movement. And Jody, unfortunately, had to let me go because Mark already hired somebody. So it was like, I got the dream, and then it was snatched from me. It was like, that SkyTrain ride home was the saddest day of my life, I think. It was so heartbreaking. But I was pretty persistent. I came back to visit Jody and Jeremiah regularly. I'm pretty sure I was a pot fairy for Halloween. And then one day Jody called me and was like, you know what, Brittany, we think you'd be great for our advertising manager position. And since then, I was advertising there for 4 years and did great with the company and saw lots of stuff. And I've moved home to Hamilton now and now have a Cannabis Culture recreational dispensary.
Yay! So yeah, that was the next question I was going to ask you, is what you've been doing with Cannabis Culture lately.
Well, since November 15th, we opened up on 275 King Street East in Hamilton. We have a rec dispensary selling to anybody 19 and over. Today's actually our 2-month anniversary, so
congratulations!
I'm super excited.
2 months already.
2 months already, I know. I'm super excited about that, and the city's reception's been pretty good so far. We had a couple of cops come in because we wouldn't sell to a minor. She called the police on us, which I thought was hilarious. And they literally came in and asked me for my dispensary license. They're like, "Where's your license to dispense?" I'm like, where is it? Like, can I print it off for you? Like, okay, no problem. They don't know what's going on, unfortunately. So I try my best to educate them.
That's good. So can you tell us about some of your favorite products that you really use at Cannabis Culture Hamilton?
I love raw distillate. I'm always a huge fan of it. I love pure, clean taste. Distillate is actually Al's over here. It's one of the cleanest ways to smoke, right?
Yep, it's my favorite.
Yeah, so I've been smoking distillate for actually 3 months and I have no shatter. Send me occasionally for friends like, hey, do you want a dab? Whatever, but I'm totally a raw distillate girl. My lungs feel better, I feel better. It tastes so clean and pure. We're gonna get it into this store very soon. I have some on the way, I believe, and it's available at Cannabis Culture Hamilton.
That's awesome. So you're helping out with this location as well?
Yeah, this is my business as well with Mark and Greg and Chris and Aaron, who are not here right now. But this is my first time here, and it looks so beautiful. Greg did such a wonderful job over the holidays. So I'm so thankful for him doing all of his hard work.
Yeah, down here at 3175 West Broadway in Vancouver. So can you tell us what makes your Cannabis Culture Hamilton unique from other locations?
Interesting. Good question. What I love about Cannabis Culture Hamilton is we actually have a super skinny, narrow, 3-story building downtown Hamilton in the International Village. So they're kind of designed to look a little Dutchy, and it literally feels like you're Amsterdam in there. Like, I literally brought Amsterdam to Hamilton with Cannabis Culture. We have the 3 floors, so our lounge is open upstairs on Friday and Saturdays when we get busier. We have a full kitchen, so hopefully one day, the city can allow us to cook some food for everybody, because we all know munchies are fantastic, and I would love an alternative to chips and prepackaged goods.
Okay.
So,
And can you follow Cannabis Culture Hamilton anywhere online?
yeah, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cannabis Culture Hamilton, and on Instagram, Cannabis Culture Hamilton, and we have regular menu updates on the Facebook page.
Awesome. And here, I'll just ask you a fun question about you. What's your favorite strain and why?
Unfortunately, distillate took over my life, and I don't really smoke weed anymore. Like, once you get on that extract train, unfortunately, it's hard to get off of it.
So you like the THC distillate?
Yeah, just the raw, you can still taste a tiny little bit of weed in it. There was this Blue Dream one time in California that absolutely blew my mind. It was $400 an ounce American, so I was hoping it would. But for the most memorable strain, I would say it would be the Blue Dream.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Dana Larsen, activist, author, and entrepreneur extraordinaire. How are you doing, Dana?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm having a wonderful day. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. For those who are watching that don't know, could you explain to us a little bit about the Dispensary?
The Dispensary. Well, in 2008, I opened what was the city's third medical marijuana outlet at 880 East Hastings, just a few doors down from the Vancouver Seed Bank, which I had founded a few years earlier. And before us, the dispensaries were called compassion clubs, and that was the main term that they used, which came out of California. And the BC Compassion Club Society had been around quite a long time, but when we opened the dispensary in 2008, we really made an effort to help others open their own dispensaries and to push it forward that way. So pretty much every week since I've opened, I've talked to somebody about how to open a dispensary, or had somebody call me or given advice. Probably the first 6 or 7 that opened in Vancouver after us, MedPot Now, the Always Growing Green Society in Maple Ridge, a whole bunch of them really consulted with me a lot, and we helped get the whole dispensary movement kind of going. And we have 2 locations now, one on 880 East Hastings and one on Thurlow. And we're online at cannabisdispensary.ca. But both of our locations, like most of the dispensaries in the city, do not comply with the city's onerous bylaws. And of course, we like that Vancouver's putting in bylaws, but we don't like that they're so severe and restricted. They treat us twice as strictly as liquor stores, and don't let us sell edibles, and have a lot of rules in there that aren't really needed. So there's been this big Board of Variance process where we have to, if you don't comply with the bylaws, you have to go to the Board of Variance, and they decide whether or not you're allowed to stay open and get a variance against the bylaws. And so our one on Thurlow did get a variance. We were 280 meters or something from a school with a kindergarten to grade 2 students in it, and they gave us a pass on that, although we still haven't finished the process, so we're still getting fines at Thurlow every week or so. They come by and fine us now for $1,000. Even though we've got the Board of Variance and we're just trying to get everything else in place to complete the process, we can't really do it any faster. But on Hastings, where we said we were the 3rd dispensary in the city, we've been open 9 years now, and never had a problem on our block at all. We've always had a good relationship with our community and everybody else. But the city's bylaws, Vision Vancouver's bylaws, say no dispensaries are allowed in manufacturing zones, and that is not appealable. The Board of Variance can't give you a pass on that. That is an inviolate, unchangeable rule they put in. You can't be in a manufacturing zone. And we're in a manufacturing zone there. But it's bizarre because there's no manufacturing anymore on our block. There's several storefronts, there's 3 restaurants, there's a brewery across the street. I mean, there's a bit of manufacturing, but really the block is primarily commercial retail these days.
They're just trying to make it difficult for you.
So we had our meeting in January. It got delayed several times, and we had a big booklet with letters from everybody in the community, letter from our MP, letters from our MLA, all kinds of local support, and showing letters from all the different charities and groups in our neighborhood that we've helped to make a difference. But they wouldn't even hear our appeal because we got there and they said, "Oh, well, this isn't appealable. We don't even know why you're here. We can't hear this. So you're done. Next," and that was it. And so that's very disappointing for us. It's disappointing that the city didn't put in some kind of grandfathering clause for a few of the older ones that have been around a long time. We just wanted a fair hearing and everything, right? So, but that doesn't mean we're going to close, at least not right away. We've still got appeals and things ahead. Not with the city. We're done with the city. In fact, this takes us right out of the process entirely. So even if tomorrow they rezoned our block for retail, we wouldn't comply. We wouldn't be able to get a permit because we can't reapply now. They're not taking new applications probably for another year, if ever. And so the system really has resulted in dispensaries that have not been open yet getting permits, and ones that that are already open for a long time and doing well in the community not getting permits, right? So the first ones that have gotten licenses are ones that were never even open yet. And that is a bizarre, not against newcomers, but it's a bizarre situation when you're open for 9 years and they want to shut you down and you've never been open and you're going to get a permit. So we're going to be in court fighting this along with many other dispensaries doing this kind of stuff. In the long run, I don't know. I think we can delay this for another year or two. But I think in the long run, we're probably going to have to close there ultimately. Like, I don't know if we're going to be able to win this battle eventually. The city doesn't really want to go to court yet because I think they want to wait to see what Trudeau does, and they will have a much stronger legal argument when cannabis is fully legal and they're regulating a legal market. Right now, it's actually kind of illegal, or it's not really within the jurisdiction to write bylaws around dispensaries. But we don't really want to challenge that either because we like that they're writing bylaws. It's a good thing, but really, they don't have the right to. They should either only be able to raid us or leave us alone. But then they could still just come in and raid us. So it's all a weird gray area right now, and we'll just have to see how it goes. But it is disappointing, absolutely, that we've been turned away like that, and that there's no exemption made for anybody that's been around a long time, and that the manufacturing zone rule is so strict and everything. But the city has really created a bizarre situation here, anyways, right? So.
Yeah, that is a very strange situation.
Well, especially because we're sitting in a place where you can do far more than you can do in our dispensary, right? You can only buy cannabis in our dispensary. You can't smoke it there. You can't do all this other stuff. We don't have pounds of weed sitting on the table. But how the city deals with that, they're just kind of putting in these bylaws, but they don't really enforce them on everybody. They only enforce them on certain people at certain times. And to me, you should have bylaws and rules. They should be strictly enforced, but you shouldn't have stupid ones. But to write rules that you only enforce a little bit and you don't really enforce, and you kind of try to play both sides of the fence, I don't really like that way they're doing it, because then it's really arbitrary and unfair, and it's more just about who you know and who you piss off, and not really about like what's right and wrong, So I don't really like how this is unfolding.
Well, on a more positive
There was my
note,
rant.
I saw that your 2017 seed campaign was beginning to kick off.
Yeah, that's going well. We're doing the Overgrow Canada thing again. We did this last year, and I gave away, originally I was only going to give away 1 million seeds, and it really just took off beyond my wildest expectations. It really got a lot of media, and then I did a tour across Canada, went through like 16 cities, and in the second stop in Calgary, I was arrested for the first time in my life. I spent the night in jail for trafficking in marijuana seeds. And so that got a lot of media attention and really helped grow the campaign. We ended up giving away over 2.5 million seeds across Canada. And we got a lot of photos on our website of people that grew them outdoors and public places. And we got a fair amount of media of plants showing up in public places. But we also kind of got overwhelmed last year. Some people didn't get their seeds, or we had some problems getting everyone their seeds. And some people didn't get them until April or May, when it's a bit late to plant. So this year we've already started getting people registered. We're going to start mailing the seeds out in mid-February, and I think that we're going to be able to, we got almost everybody their seeds last time, but this time people are going to get their seeds earlier and sooner in a bit more organized fashion. We've had over 4,500 people sign up for seeds already. Everyone that signs up at overgrowcanada.com, we will give them 100 seeds. And the idea is really to plant them in your neighborhood, in your front of City Hall, in front of the police station, and other public areas. You know, these are low THC, high CBD seeds, or moderate CBD seeds. Should get around 10% CBD if grown under good conditions. You can certainly get higher CBD strains out there than these, but you can use them for medicinal use if you're looking for that. Certainly, it's possible. But if you're going to grow them indoors, I would buy some other seeds, right? But in terms of normalizing cannabis, getting out in public, to me, our whole movements have been about civil disobedience. And, you know, we started off with, you know, bong shops and seed banks, which are still illegal, but are now widespread. Dispensaries are now becoming widespread, and whether or not they have medical recommendations attached or not, you can pretty much buy cannabis in many big cities now, and we're by mail order all across Canada. But being able to grow cannabis openly is still a frontier we haven't passed yet, right? So my goal in giving away all these seeds every year is to encourage people to grow cannabis openly, to normalize cannabis. So you see a cannabis plant growing next to a playground, and it doesn't bother you any more than seeing any of the other, a poisonous plant or a deadly plant growing next to a playground, which doesn't bother anybody. And cannabis isn't deadly or poisonous, but that is just another plant. And maybe you go, oh, that's a nice looking plant, or oh, it's a scraggly one, but it's just another plant, and it's not something that freaks everybody out. You know, if I see cannabis growing openly, I go, wow, there's a cannabis plant. Hey, look at that, right? But if it's the 10th one you've seen that day walking around your neighborhood, then it's not a big deal anymore. So that's what I'm hoping to accomplish with this campaign. But I'm a little worried because I got charged in Calgary for trafficking in cannabis seeds, and I'm still facing those charges. I have to call my parole or bail supervisor every month and let them know what I'm doing. And I don't know how this is going to unfold exactly. My bail conditions are a little vague in terms of what I'm allowed and not allowed to do, and it's not me personally giving out the seeds, but I'm certainly the name behind it. But I'm not the one actually handing them to people, right? So we'll see. But regardless of whether or not I end up getting arrested again or having some bail problems or whatever, we're going to keep doing the seed giveaway. Probably if I have legal problems, it'll just help get more attention, really. Not that I'm looking forward to another night in jail or anything, but it wasn't that bad either. Whatever. I could do a few more nights if I have to. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm planning on doing a tour again in the spring. I don't really have any dates or things worked out yet, but in March and early April I should be on the road going from town to town talking about cannabis and giving out seeds. And I'm excited about it anyways. It's been really good, and I think it's having over 4,000 people in the first week. Our goal is 50,000 altogether, which would be 5 million seeds for this year. I'm not sure we'll get 50,000 registrations online, but if we can get around 25,000 online, that's around 2.5 million seeds. And then the other 2 or so million seeds we can do by mailing packages of seeds to 420 rallies across Canada to give away at that, and to give away at certain head shops and dispensaries across Canada. So some people just don't want their name on a list or don't want to sign up or don't even know about it online, but if they see it in person, they'll grab some. So I think we're going to be able to really overgrow Canada even more this year than we did last year, and just keep this going every year.
That's very exciting. Something else exciting that you're doing, I noticed that you're beginning to release one of your books online.
Yeah, my history book. Yeah, I've got 4 books out now. 3 of them are kind of funny ones. I kind of say it's kind of like a different age groups. Green Buds and Hash is really for like younger children or sort of a reader, learning how to read. And then the Pie-Eyed Piper fairy tales, a little bit older, a few bigger words in there, a bit longer. Then when you're ready for chapter books, you've got Harry Pothead and the Marijuana Stone, for the preteen kind of teenage readers. And for adults is a history of cannabis in Canada, my illustrated book. And that one is really represents a lot of effort on my part to find original documentation, to look up newspaper clippings and articles and journals, and it's a very comprehensive look at history of cannabis in Canada. And so I've started putting it online. It's at greenbudhash.com. If you find the book and click on it, you can read some of the references and some of the history information there, and hopefully it encourages people to buy the book. But really, I just want this information to get out there. It's about letting Canadians know how important hemp and marijuana have been in our country's history. How both the French and the British pushed so hard to get more hemp farming happening in Canada, how it was such a big part of the economy for so long in the 1800s, how widespread medical marijuana access was in the 1800s, especially the late 1800s, early 1900s. Cannabis medicines were incredibly popular, well documented, written about regularly. Doctors and patients alike were taking cannabis medicines and learning and experimenting. And my book also, it documents the history of prohibition and how it came in, but it also spends a bit of time on the modern cannabis movement and talking about over the last 20, 25 years and how we got from there to where we are now. And I try to profile some of the heroes and some of the villains as well of the cannabis reform movement and how we got to where we are. So I'm proud of this book, and I want to put it all online, and I'm going to keep working on that. But yeah, go to greenbudsandhash.com. And then click on the history book, and you can read a lot more about the history, and check back every few weeks as I add more pages. And hopefully by the end of 2017, I should have the whole book online in as text as it is now.
What motivated you to release the book online?
Well, I just want the information to be out there, right? It's not about me selling copies of this book. In fact, my history book will never make back the money that I've invested in it in terms of what I paid the artist and the time I put into it. I mean, my other books, make a little bit of money or make a profit and everything, but especially because this history book is Canadian focused, so I can't really sell copies in the U.S. in the same way that I sell my other books in the U.S. and have a bigger audience there. But, I want this history book to educate people and to teach Canadians about this plant and about our history with it. The Emperor Wears No Clothes, Jack Herrera's famous book, it's all online and it's available in that way. And, I don't really think it'll hurt sales to put it online, but even if it did, I don't really care because I just want people to have the information. I want it to be common knowledge that Canadians were growing hemp in the 1800s in Canada, and the 1700s in Canada, and the 1600s in Canada. And I want it to be common knowledge. People like Dr. F.W. Goodwin, the doctor who was really doing a lot of research into cannabis in the late 1800s and gave lectures about it, and talked about doctors using cannabis socially, medicinally, recreationally, and I just think we think of cannabis as a new thing. It started in the 60s, and then it kind of went from there, but the cannabis culture in Canada and around the world, but the books about Canada really has been such an intrinsic part of our country's history for so long. And so if I can help make it so more Canadians are aware of that, then that's what I'm trying to do.
That's awesome.
That's why I'm putting it online.
Well, speaking of actually the north of the border, though, south of the border.
It's north if you go the long
Dabs.
way around.
Yeah. I noticed that you did an interview recently regarding Trump's presidency affecting Canada's cannabis legalization. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, Trump's been all over the place when he talks about cannabis, but like most politicians in the U.S., he's been sort of positive on medical marijuana and saying, well, we're going to let the states that have legalized it kind of do their thing. But he's also criticized legalization quite a bit. He's criticized Colorado, saying a lot of bad things are happening there because of legalization. But what's more concerning is who he's appointing to his cabinet, specifically Jeff Sessions, who he's appointed or is trying to appoint as Attorney General. I think he's still got to go through the confirmation process, and Congress can still reject him. But the people that he's putting into his cabinet are generally harsh right-wing. A lot of them are quite religious. Jeff Sessions is very anti-marijuana. He made a joke once, a quote-unquote joke once, saying, well, I thought the KKK were good guys until I found out they smoked marijuana, which is such a terrible, it's not even funny if that's even a joke. It's not a funny joke, right? That's not good at all.
No.
And so, he's basically saying that virulent racism is okay, but smoking pot is not. And we know that that's just ridiculous, right? So having him in power, in terms of how it affects the U.S., I don't think the federal government there has the power to send in all the police, start busting everybody for selling pot in Colorado. They theoretically could send in DEA agents and do that, but they don't really have enough. The DEA itself isn't very big compared to a police force, right? So they don't really have it, nor do they have the legal authority to make a state police enforce federal laws. What they could do, though, is cause trouble in terms of banking access. I don't know which way this one's going, but in terms of banking access and letting dispensaries and cannabis business become normalized. They could possibly pick off large companies and go after certain individuals and try to charge them just to put a fear into the industry. They can have the DEA like pick a big dispensary in Washington and go in and charge them and cause problems there, right? So those kind of options are totally open and that could be done and could have a real chilling effect on things. In Canada, I don't know. I don't think Trudeau's going to back off and say, oh, well, now Trump's in there, I'm not going to legalize anymore. But it's already been a very, very slow process. And in fact, there's been nothing happened yet at all. And officially, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of discussion, some good things discussed. But we're still living under Harper's mandatory minimums in Canada, right? The law has not changed at all. And now they're saying maybe 2019 until we see change. Maybe we won't get a new system until later. So if the election of Trump and Jeff Sessions as Attorney General, or whoever Trump puts in there, has a negative impact on Canada, I think it will just be a further delaying and slowing things down and making it take even longer than it's already taking. But I hope that's not the case. I hope that we stand up for what's right in Canada. But I mean, Trudeau is going at a slow enough pace already. And that was when we all thought that Clinton was going to win. And it's worth noting that in the States, the Democrats had actually endorsed a pathway to legalization in their policy for the first time ever that either major party has ever adopted any pro-cannabis policy. Hillary Clinton herself promised to put cannabis from Schedule 1 into Schedule 2, and Nancy Pelosi said she was going to vote for legalization in California. But I think that if Hillary Clinton had spoken stronger on this and not buried it and had said, yes, I'm going to do what Obama didn't do. I'm going to legalize marijuana. People are ready for it now. They weren't ready for it, a few years ago, but now they are and promised to do that. I think that should be president because we needed something different. People wanted something different. And I think that's partly why Trudeau is prime minister as well, as his stand on cannabis. I think it's sort of a bellwether issue because if you speak honestly on that, it sort of shows that you're not your regular politician, because it's the one issue that most politicians just bullshit on, and we know that they're lying about it, and they just won't acknowledge the truth, right? And so having somebody that does makes a big difference. But anyways, Trump's in there, and I think that it's not going to be good for cannabis in the U.S. or in Canada, but I don't know, realistically how much influence it'll have in Canada. We'll have to see. It's ironic that Pierre Trudeau promised to decriminalize cannabis in Canada and change the marijuana laws. And it was in his late 70s, and he delayed on this, installed on it. And then in 1980, Reagan was elected in the U.S. He had Carter in there before that. Carter was the U.S. president saying we should decriminalize and the law should change and everything. And if Trudeau was going to do it, Pierre Trudeau, he should have done it between 1976 and 1979. He could have decriminalized marijuana in Canada, but he didn't do it. In 1980, Reagan was elected, and then the opportunity was lost. And I think the same way that maybe, I hope that doesn't happen now, but if Trudeau had acted faster and just even decriminalized possession or done some concrete action to make it inevitable that we have to go forward, under Obama, who was the most cannabis-friendly president probably since Carter, right? Clinton wasn't cannabis-friendly in his policies, and Obama kind of wasn't super friendly, but did better than anybody else before him. I don't know. It's a nuanced discussion. But anyways, Trudeau had a chance under Obama, and I hope that we haven't lost that chance for 4 years because Trump won't let us, right? But in Canada, standing up to Trump would probably be seen as a positive as well. So I don't know how to play out, but it's not going to help having Trump in there anyways, that's for sure.
Definitely not.
Where do you think North America will be in terms of legalization 5 years from now?
I think that several more states are going to vote to legalize in some way or another over the next 4 years. We've got 2 referendum cycles in the U.S. coming up, and I think especially 4 years from now, that there's going to be a reaction, like whoever it is, there's going to be a push from the Democrats to get Trump out, assuming we have an election in 4 years, of course, in the States. I say we, but I mean the States. But assuming that we still have elections and that Putin doesn't run everything, then I think there could be a backlash against Trump, and whether or not the Democrats win that election, I think there'll be a lot of things happening in terms of referendums on legalization in the States. So I don't think the American federal government will change within 5 years in terms of their policies, but I think that, in fact, it'll probably be worse than it is now, but I think that more states will have legalized in 5 years, medically and recreationally or personal use. I also potentially think that the next Democratic president will probably make changes on marijuana federally, whether it's in 4 years or 8 years or however long it takes for the Democrats to get their shit together. I think that they're going to end up hopefully bringing in somebody. The only way they're going to be able to compete against Trump is to have somebody who's more like Bernie Sanders and less like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
They need someone who's got the ideology of Bernie Sanders, but who looks younger and more handsome, right? And so if they can put that combination together, get like a Trudeau type person who's got a brand name, he's young, Trudeau's not playing out always the way we like, but certainly in his campaigning, he promised a lot of the right stuff, he presented a fresh face, and he was young and idealistic and represented change, right? And I think so I think that we could see change in the US within 8 to 12 years. Once Trump is defeated or the Republicans are eliminated, I think that assuming the Democrats come back, they would probably do it at that point, because so many states will have done it by then that it will be easier for them to start to withdraw. In Canada in 5 years, I think maybe we'll be on the verge of being able to buy legal marijuana in a store that's got some kind of federal government approval on it. But I also think that long before that happens, there is going to be more and more dispensaries, more and more cities choosing to act in the vacuum that the federal government is leaving and start licensing dispensaries. I actually think Toronto, Toronto's got municipal elections in a couple of years. And if Toronto gives up, well, they've already kind of given up, really. Their rates have dropped. They're not launching Project Claudia's anymore. The Cannabis Culture one in there has never been raided, and they're super busy. And they've kind of given up, I feel, in a way. They're kind of just raiding the places that they get complaints about or that bug them for some reason. And so I think if that continues in a few years, Toronto's going to end up licensing dispensaries too. And if the federal government doesn't change anything, it looks like they're not gonna, once Toronto goes, that's it. Everybody else is gonna do it, right? Toronto's the biggest, most influential city in Canada. You know, Vancouver and BC's doing a lot. A few other smaller cities are doing stuff. But when Toronto even starts talking about it, and I feel like maybe in the next municipal election in Toronto, this will become a compelling issue. Right now, it's all kind of up in the air. And I think Canadians are going to start getting fed up, because I hear from people who aren't in the pot movement so much, I hear from them a lot, well, look, legalization is coming in the spring. Why are you so impatient? Just wait a few months and everything you dream is going to come true, and it's going to be legal by 420 and it's going to be great. And when that doesn't happen, and when cannabis people are still being arrested next spring, next summer, or this fall, next year, when the law hasn't changed, I think there's going to be a backlash. People are going to start saying, why is it taking so long? What's going on? And so I think that will give dispensaries more room to operate. Public opinion will turn more to our side. I think if they open a bunch of legal government-regulated cannabis shops in the next year, people will be against the civil disobedience of dispensaries, because they'll say you should follow the rules, right? And maybe they'd be right. But I think that the federal government's slowness is giving our movement a chance to get into that void and to open dispensaries. And I think it'll be very difficult for the federal government to eliminate dispensaries that have got business licenses, that are integrated into their communities. And so then it'll be a question of how, over the next decade, they integrate the dispensaries with the legal supply chain and how that works in some way. And hopefully current dispensary suppliers can become the legal supply chain, and not have it be this elitist system we have now, where there's only a small handful of companies that can grow and sell cannabis. I think dispensaries might just be the crack in the system that opens everything up in that way.
I hope so.
So we'll see how that goes, but I feel optimistic about that. I feel like it is because of their slowness to act that they're going to end up losing more control and having things turn out in a way that maybe they don't want. And if they were to act more quickly, they could probably put a clamp on in place and really get a more restricted system. So their slowness, in a way, is to our benefit.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much, Dana, for coming on and giving us your perspective and sharing all of your recent endeavors.
That was fun, yeah. Thank you for having me. Good stuff.
Thank you.
And DanaLarsen.com, greenbudsandhash.com, overgrowcanada.com, and cannabisdispensary.ca as well. We do mail order all across Canada with no medical requirements, as long as you're an adult. And I think that's all the plugs I have to do. So thanks again for having me on the show.
Thank you so much for coming.
And I am out of here.
Awesome.
Good work, brother.
We now have Jeremiah Vandermeer coming on. Do some more dabs. What are we going to dab on now?
Hello, hello.
Hello, Mr. Vandermeer. How are you?
Hi, ladies,
What do you
gentlemen.
want to dab on?
Pod TV. What do I want to dab on?
We have all sorts
Oh,
of
you have
stuff
the El Dorado Moby Dick, don't you?
I do.
I like that stuff.
That's what we've been smoking for most of the show.
Oh, have you? It's really
Yeah.
good. What's that?
Old School Haze Rosin by Shatter Shack.
Oh, Old School Haze.
As well as Green Crack God Bud Rosin by
Or there's
Shatter
these
Shack.
4 types from Cannabis Extraction as well
I
too.
brought those over from
Now, is
Katie.
Old School Haze an actual strain, or is it just haze?
It's hard to say.
It's just
Do we?
haze.
It's
Is
hard
it?
to say.
Yeah,
When
because
I got
they
them-
call it Old School Haze because it's just haze and it's old school.
And
Yeah.
I've been hearing all kinds of various different things.
Same with the Seedsman's Haze.
Yeah.
It's also just haze.
Well,
But everybody
it is-
calls it Seedsman's, but that's just the company or the old school way of getting it, you know, or the original
Well,
sort
there's been
of.
all these God variations coming out. That there was a God that I saw a little while ago that was a little bit cheesy. So now it's it's come up with some. Its name has changed, you know,
Right.
just in the last few weeks. So it's getting hard to say. Also, I've been working in a couple of different dispensaries, so it's been getting hard to keep track of all the strains and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah, I
And
know.
There's been a couple of different interesting dynamic shifts within our cannabis culture regime. There's been all kinds of things that are changing. So it's a very, very expanding time of the year. So it's hard to keep track of these things, to be honest, right now.
Yep, and we have some Blue Widow chilling here.
We've been smoking on some
knew it.
Blue Widow.
I knew that was
Cra-
Blue
these
Widow.
crystals are
called
so
it.
crazy on this stuff. Is there a bud cam?
We've got
Can you?
some
What
of
about that one?
bus-
That's right. Bud cam.
There's more trikes on that than probably any, I don't know, the last 60 strains I've ground up in my med.
It's crazy stuff.
I'm busting this open.
That's
So how's the
it.
show going?
Ooh, it's going really
Ooh, what is
well.
that? Looks like chocolate.
It's
It is chocolate.
chocolate bar from Moda Cannabis Products.
Awesome.
If you haven't checked them out yet, well, I don't know what's wrong with you. You should probably should.
You
if,
should,
If
definitely.
you're in Canada, if you're outside of Canada, well, you could like
Get it?
get a
Get a
shirt or
friend.
something. I don't know. Chocolate?
Get a shirt.
I don't know.
Get a
Grab some
shirt.
We have.
Snag.
Would you like some of that? We have the
chocolate in my mouth.
apothecary gummies downstairs in our store, and we now, of course, I don't know what you guys have probably mentioned, but we have a full-fledged dispensary here at Hastings as well.
We
I just
tried to save
ate.
the announcement for you.
Oh, what
So-
you didn't announce? You
Well,
haven't
I
said?
briefly mentioned. I mentioned that this El Dorado extract was available at our dispensary, but I said more about that later.
Right on the other side of this wall here.
Here, we should do a hot.
Yeah.
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 Yep, right there.
You know, I got really bad pastries
Bam.
and chocolate.
So
with it.
we have like 20 strains, variety on variety right now. There's Tommy Boy
Gracias.
who is manning the dispensary out there.
Okay,
He's got his
well,
3 Happy Cats shirt on. Window dressing.
That's just the Tommy.
So yeah, we have all kinds of goodies there, and of course we have downstairs in the store. I was just mentioning we have the gummies. I was down there eating them earlier. They have like a cola gummy.
Oh,
That's an
wow.
infused cola gummies that are really awesome.
Those the four in the bag?
Yeah,
Yeah, those are awesome.
they're tasty,
Yeah.
delicious.
I had the cola ones.
I'm not
I had
huge-
the root beer ones last night.
I'm not big on the edibles because they really fuck me up, so I'm gonna hold off on the chocolate. But yeah, even with the one gummy, I'm obviously a lightweight because I feel it pretty much. You know, like 20 minutes in, half an hour, I'm like, oh baby.
Yeah.
And if I eat too many of those, my eyes get caked shut. I like fall asleep, and then I'm sleeping for like 12 hours and wake up and my eyes are still caked shut. So
Get that weed hangover everybody talks about.
I do.
Burnover. I call it a
do get it
burnover.
from eating
burnover.
just edibles. That's the only thing that does that to me. But
My mom just
See,
calls it
that's
being a
what
fly
hash
bag.
does to me.
Right.
That's what hash usually does to
Hash?
me. Like the old
Yeah.
school hash. I get like super tired. I like pass out and then I wake up like 15 hours later and I'm just like, how did this
You're like,
happen?
what
I smoked
happened?
one
True
bowl.
patron of the hash, though.
you like the hash, huh?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. My original Instagram name was Hashforce1.
Ah.
Then it changed to the Artifact. But
You like that old school earthy, like Afghani Moroccan
yeah, I
style?
like pressed hash. I like lots of melt hash. I mean, I'm always trying to rock some melt so you can smear onto any sort of banger or whatever.
Nice,
But,
nice.
It just burns slower than shatter, so that's why I end up going back to it.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise I'm smoking or I'm dabbing 5 grams of shatter every couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah, between me and my fiance, we can honestly dab 14 grams in a few days because we did it. We bought a half-gram slab and it just, you know,
Guys just go through it.
you go through it like a half ounce of cannabis.
Well, you get used to the dabs just like you do smoking weed, so.
I need to rotate all the time.
Yeah.
That's my trick for me, to rotate between clear, shatter, joints. Ooh.
Which stuff is that?
That's the clarity. That's the
see
quadruple
that in
distilled THC distillate by Temple Calyx.
Oh yeah.
That stuff's really
I
good.
feel like this.
Yeah, I
needs to
have
be
had
used
some of
with
that.
this
It
rig at
kills
some
me
point,
I know,
'cause they're
right?
It's so
cute
strong.
together.
Your head just kind of rolls off
But
your
that's
neck
not
there.
so I know.
No, it's really powerful
made by the
stuff.
same person.
When I first had it, Al gave me a bit,
one? These
and
two?
he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh, you're gonna." He's like, "You haven't been this high in a long time," and I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Okay, bam." So he gave it to me, and he was right. I
Torch?
hadn't been that
Classic.
high. Yeah.
Classic.
awesome.
Torch.
There you go. Yeah, no, I've been doing a gob of the quadruple distilled distillate, and then a chunk of the melty hash, and then some
Oh yeah, we have the CBD too.
Yeah.
You didn't bring your terps
From
today,
Ascendi.
Carly?
I didn't bring
I
the
was totally
terps
gonna bring terps today. I thought about it. I looked at them. I said, "Oh, my terps,"
I
and then I
brought
just
some BC terp.
I
blend.
didn't.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we got terps.
Is this
okay,
the
now we can
terps
do
from the
full,
Lindsay
the
OG?
full-
Oh yeah, the Lindsay award-winning terps. These are.
Award-winning terps.
Yeah.
I'll put some. Is that okay if I
Yeah.
put some CBD in the lid and then we can dip
Yeah,
it in
for
terps
sure.
and then dip
Just
it in
terps,
CBD?
no
For
flavor.
sure.
It reminds me of like oregano
Too
or
much
pizza or
terps.
something. You know, this particular terp.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh.
so. It has that herby, sort of earthy, almost like savory.
Yeah.
Here, you want to dip that? You got the terps there. Here,
damn.
do you want to pass the
too
terps so
good.
she can terp that up for her?
Sure, here I don't know what
Too
you do with
good.
that, but or how you do it, but
And you
Just
know what?
like, just
Actually,
touch
we
the applicator to the.
Yeah, I
dab.
I
It won't
watched you
stick.
do it at the Christmas party.
Yeah, you won't. I put too much on at the Christmas party, actually.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Really.
It has more of an aromatherapy effect than anything else. Is really how it's supposed to modulate. That's why a lot of the glass artists are doing the terp caps now because it lasts a lot longer. You don't really need to necessarily dip it on your dab and dab the whole thing.
Yeah.
You can have that flavor and that cannabinoid modulation without actually having to like burn the full amount. But speaking of
science.
terpenes, I was flipping through this magazine here, the Highway Canada, and I noticed this super cool page. Where is it now? Da, 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 da. It was in here
medicated
somewhere.
chocolate.
Here it is.
And shouts
I was
to
like,
John
"Ooh,
Vergados and his team over
I
there.
always notice this word when I see it. I was like, this is really cool. So I got Alyssa to load that in there so we could show off a little bit about terpenes. So if people don't know, they can learn a little bit about the different terpenes.
It's a cool chart. The
It's a really
wheel,
cool
the
chart.
wheel of terps.
So if you don't know, terpenes are what
Terp
give
pie.
cannabis
Yeah.
their flavor and its smell. It's the same thing that gives vegetables and fruit its flavor and smell. And each terpene modulates each different cannabinoid profile differently. So it's really exciting. It's a very cool discovery for the
And that's
industry
not all
because
the-
there's unlimited. There's so many combinations. You know, each cannabinoid is affected by each terpene. Yeah, there's tons.
So there's
of
a good little
terpenes.
guideline in that
Yeah.
in that
Yeah,
chart.
Yeah.
it doesn't show all the terps, but
Yeah.
it shows a good little.
It
percent,
shows some
like
of the
a-
more common terpenes. You know,
There's
similar
other
to how
charts
there's
out there,
CBD,
too.
CBDA, THC, THCA. There's the commonly known ones, and then there's lots and lots more. So it's really exciting because when you think about all of the hundreds of cannabinoids
And where
there
are
out
these
there,
magazines available? Are they available like in our stores?
In head shops.
Head shops?
Yeah,
It's like-
Highway.
It's a monthly that goes around.
Yeah, Highway.
Highway.
It's done by the same people who do Skunk Magazine, John Vergados and his crew out there. Yeah, John, amazing guy.
It's on. What month issue is this? It's on page 38 of the January-February.
Yes,
Edition.
there you are. And yeah, and there's other charts out there. I think if you search for terpenes, like Ethan Russo terpenes, there's an older chart that he had published. We have it upstairs outside of one of the offices on the wall there. It also has a number of terps on there, their effects, how it smells, all that stuff.
This is definitely handy.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty good
pretty cool.
breakdown.
For the terp enthusiast.
Yeah.
Especially with the temperatures. As someone who is a
Yeah.
terp enthusiast, I'm going to keep that one saved to my phone because I'm going to be like, with
Right.
this terpene profile, I think I'm going to hit it a little lower temperature,
Right.
you know?
Right.
You don't want to burn any. Was it you who said that the other day? You got to waste it to taste it?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
it's
that.
definitely
It's been on
me.
my
Waste it
mind
to
ever
taste it,
since.
that's
It's such a
funny.
good one.
I said that to some of our friends in Toronto there, Chris
Puddle
and Jen,
gang.
and they were like, "What?" So I guess it's a West Coast thing. Apparently,
I like that orange rig. That's pretty cool.
Yes, it's made by Culprit Glass, and same with this little dabber.
Culprit glass, cool.
Yeah.
Very
That's
nice,
what
very
it
nice.
says. Stabby Joe here that I'm
Stabby
handing
Joe.
out.
Stabby Joe.
Stabby Joe.
Hilarious.
I don't have I left my
Shanky
flashlight
Joe.
in the other room, but it's got Illuminati
Thanks for
mounts for
bringing
the
the chocolate,
opals.
No problem.
So delicious.
I'll have more Moda treats.
So,
Soon.
Bcbudgal, what do you hope to see when Canada legalizes?
Oh man. where do I start?
I want.
Communal pot farming.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yep.
That would be, yeah.
I want a pot airline. You know that you can like hotbox. You can't get any higher than hotboxing an airplane.
What? That would be such a good
Yeah, 'cause
slogan,
the people-
too.
yeah. You should be able to,
Can't
you
get
know, a
higher.
smoking section in the airplane, or at least a
That would be
dabbing section.
insane.
Yeah, that should be.
Wow.
Got to start that.
Well, you know, that kind of stuff would be cool too, but also, like I said, all the medicinal uses to it, letting everyone actually have their access to it, not having it so difficult. But the other thing too is making sure that everything is tested and that it's good products. Like, you know, there was certain places that I've been and everyone's like, yeah, it's good, you know, I give it to these people, and then you have it and you're like, this is not okay. Like, you know, so yeah, it's, you know, so testing and seeing those sorts of things being able to be done and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
and done affordably.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and then of course all those sorts of cool things that you can do. You know, you're not gonna get arrested, you know, having like, yeah, you know what I mean. Exactly.
I think marijuana vintage arcade as well. That's what I want to see personally in my living room. That's what I want to see. Like
the
old,
other, yeah,
vintage arcade. You know, the
Like
old cabinets.
Segasa,
I'm talking Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
Galaga.
The old submarine.
Yes.
Tommy gun machine fighter.
Absolutely.
I want a
Any of that.
cannabis
Party.
Yeah,
spa.
Afterburner.
I think those were
A cannabis
Segasa,
spot,
I think,
like somewhere where you
before
could
it
go
turned
and
into
you could
Sega.
like
'Cause I owned
hotbox.
I have a couple of those in
smoke
my dad's
joints.
basement,
you could have
actually,
like a sauna.
You
Yeah,
do?
hotbox the sauna.
I'm so jealous.
Wouldn't that
Yeah,
be it?
sauna.
Like a
Yeah.
marijuana spa. You
Yeah.
could get girls could get their nails done while they're
You
like
could have like the
Marijuana
bath
spa.
bombs and the
Steam
soaps
room.
medicated.
Hot, like
Yeah.
Hawaiian. You could call it Hawaiian hot box.
like hemp seed.
Or some people call it a
massage oil
Jamaican
massages.
shower.
It's very
It
kingly,
is a Jamaican
very
shower. That's what I
hedonistic.
call it.
But the other thing too, it sounds ridiculous. Like,
Which is
oh,
good.
we have to wait till we legalize this like
Beautiful
herb.
natural
Yeah.
plant.
It's a plant. It's a herb. Like,
Yeah, and as Dana said,
I
there's
mean,
plants that are more poisonous that are planted to look pretty near
But my other
parks that
thing too
children
is
play
like,
at.
you know, I know people say my next door neighbor, I'm not going to say where I live, but like, you know, people growing salvia in their backyard, and it's like, oh, it's for the hummingbirds. It's like, okay, well, let's just smoke that and see where that takes me. Like, you know, like, I
the
don't know.
hummingbirds.
Like, exactly.
All the hummingbirds are on salvia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the koala bears are all on eucalyptus.
Yeah. Ah, chewing coca leaf.
Yeah, wouldn't it be bad being a koala bear?
Yeah, I guess not. Well,
Those
Except
trees.
when they have to run on the ground. That's when they get attacked, apparently.
Yes.
I don't know. I watched
Trees,
nature documentaries a lot when I'm
I
like
like
stoned
nature
and stuff. I
Yes.
love that, and I can never remember that guy's name who does the documentaries. I don't know. He's some narrator. He's got an accent. I don't know. He's
oh
my
yeah,
favorite.
yes, I love the accent narrator.
That one
Very,
guy.
very
That one
classic.
guy.
I
to
literally
nature
can't remember
shows.
his name. Ah, what is it?
The guy who
In
does
a
the honey
world
badger.
where-
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you,
Yes.
Melissa.
He
I thought you were
sounds-
talking about the honey badger guy.
He just sounds so majestic. Like,
Yeah, so soothing.
yes.
Yeah.
When you're like stoned, you're just
Don't
in
matter
there.
what
You're like,
state of mind
wow.
you're
Like,
in.
I just found this all. My thing is like, why didn't they show us those sorts of things like in school? Like, you learn so much from the. Like, I mean, maybe it's kind of pointless, but like, I don't know. I
No,
feel like
it's
we learned a lot of stuff in school that we're never
Watching,
gonna use.
yeah. We just watched some sort of little monster running from snakes. The clip of a
Oh,
nature
yeah,
show.
this
That was
good
pretty
one.
dope.
Oh, yeah,
little
did you
reptile
see that?
videos
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it had
Yeah.
been,
Yeah.
So
was it
good.
like Aussie Man's reviews or something like that? Where it was,
I'm not sure what. I just saw the clip.
haven't seen the Aussie Man review yet. Somebody commented,
so
my friend from
good.
the
Oh,
C-Bank
it's
comment said, Aussie Man reviews this one and you should
Oh,
watch
it's so
it.
fun.
But it's such an awesome, it's this little like, what is it, a lizard? Some sort of
I don't
lizard
know,
creature.
some sort of like little.
It's just
looks
like
like a
Some little-
hatchling though.
yeah.
And it
iguana
makes a
looking guy.
miraculous
That runs on 2 feet.
escape.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cute and
It's a
hilarious.
real nature video. It's not animated or anything.
No,
like that.
I wonder
is
if they
some pretty
set
nice-
these up though. They're like, "Hey, grab him and throw him in the snake pit and see what happens." You know, like get the cams. Yeah, because how do they know that that's gonna, that kind of a situation
Well,
happening?
they
They're just
have to
hanging out
sit
all
and
day
wait
with the snakes.
patiently.
They're like waiting
Yeah.
for somebody to come by.
If you watch
For
like,
weeks at a time.
yeah, in the
Like,
backstage,
scenes.
yeah, National Geographic and those people they film, they go out there for like weeks on end and sit there. I watched this one and this guy, don't ask, I don't know why I was watching it. Anyways, this guy was like going and it was behind the scenes of the guy watching the beavers underneath in the winter.
No,
Yeah.
And
I don't wanna-
like he would sit there for like 3 days, and then finally he got one beaver that swam by, and it was like 5 minutes of
And it
footage,
was
and like
totally
the
chill.
6th day, and it's like, oh yeah, I got something. Like,
I think it would be cool though if they did do that, like strange animal fights where it's like animals. I know this is obviously cruel to animals, and you couldn't
that's
do it, but you know, like a
horrible.
bear versus a crocodile or something. Like,
Coliseum.
you know,
No.
yeah, exactly.
That's
You could get
awful.
like Don King to be their agent
They
and
have
everything.
there's an animated series on YouTube about that where they do a simulation of like a mountain lion versus a grizzly bear and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then you
rhino
develop
versus-
personalities. So the bear would be like one of your favorite wrestlers or whatever. You know, like Crocodile Joe meets like Furry the, you know,
Elephant Hogan.
Right,
Rabbit.
exactly. Elephant Hogan. Yeah, yeah. Macho Chimp.
Macho
Randy
Chimp.
Savage. Yeah. Like, yeah, you could have all kinds of weird animals.
man.
Yeah, like a scorpion versus like a, you know, water buffalo.
Yeah, I have a cousin in the military, and in the early 2000s, he would send us photos on Facebook of like over in Afghanistan. They put like a camel spider in with a scorpion, and they'd be betting packs of
Jeez, you
cigarettes
see?
and
Oh,
stuff like that.
This is
Jesus.
yes,
You know,
it's just
these
like
massive
it's just
desert
advanced dogfighting.
insects, you know.
Terrible, but yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't nature do
Horrible.
this naturally? I mean, we're just like, you know,
How
speeding
did
up the
you-
process.
See, this is the transition from girls to guys. We're talking about like cool and cute little nature videos, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, and this
Put 'em in a ring and fight.
scorpion was
Scorpions
fighting this
battling
animal.
spiders in a bucket is awesome.
well, sometimes they do show those like graphic things. That, oh my god.
Oh, I
what
don't
are
like
they
those ones.
called?
I watch the cuter ones, so you don't have to see
Well,
the
it's like the
sad
one where it's like
parts.
the water buffalo, and it's like back leg. It's like, oh, this one's gonna get it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
like this one's
No,
going.
and the guy always
Gator
sounds
comes
like
out.
Yeah, what are those big,
sad.
huge? They look like massive iguanas, but they're not iguanas. What are they called?
Anaconda?
They're like from the dinosaur ages. No, not anacondas. They look like massive, like
dragons.
yeah, one of those. And there was like 5 of them waiting for this like water buffalo to go down. And it was like over a matter of like 3 days. And yeah, like I said, those people sat out there and filmed this whole entire thing, and they're like, oh, let's not get too close. Like,
we need to get cannabis people to start filming these shows, so we can, you know, we'd have like, you know, more people getting stoned. I mean, we've been watching this stuff forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Oh,
go out
I'm
there and
sure
smoke
that
a
there's
bunch of
some
hash and-
videographers that are smoking tubies while they're waiting for that shit. Whether you're waiting out there for
the
days
nature.
at a-
Yeah, guaranteed they're all smoking.
It's like people who go
They're like,
hunting. They don't
give
just
Jeff Corwin a
lay
joint and
there
tell him
waiting
talk
for an
about
animal
animals.
to go by. They will lay there waiting for an animal to go by and chain smoke doobies. So
yeah.
that's why medtainers make a great gift for your friends if they're hunters. Actually, I gave my friend a bright orange medtainer and he loved it. And he brings it out into the bush with all his pre-rolls.
Bright orange.
See, wouldn't that be perfect?
They're out there. The reason that they're out there is because they have little stash grow spots out there in the wild, and when they're out there taking their, you know, videos, they just check on their supply, go out there, you know, water the plants and everything. It's all they all smoke outdoor, but
It's easy to get lost out there, so remember
This
to bring
combo.
a GPS
You gotta
when
do
you're
that
trying to
combo.
find
You
your
haven't
outdoor
done that
plants.
combo? Do that.
yeah, all you do is you go out to your grow, and then you just put cameras up around it and watch the wildlife.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you could you put the wildlife cameras out there. They're pretty cheap actually. Canadian Tire or wherever you get them online, Amazon. You get those little wilderness cams they're like under $100 now.
Did you see that
I
video?
did a wilderness video
Yeah. Those are
for Cannabis Culture.
nice.
I filmed 4 wild cats
Yeah.
that we have, and their natural habitat is here at 307 West Hastings. Our
Well,
2
next
cats.
time I go back
4
home,
cats.
I'll bring back some footage of where me and Bryson come from.
You should do
We
some
come
dab
from the
venture
bush.
videos.
in the forest.
sure.
You should do some dab venture videos.
Good old
there.
sycamores.
They-
Everyone's
they
probably
have
like, where are them?
those drone cameras available now for so cheap. They have I saw on Boing Boing, you know, that blog. They have like a store.
Boing
they have this.
Boing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. They have the smallest drone camera thing available. It's just like sits on your hand, and it has a high definition camera in it, and it has a little controller. It's $20. Like,
Really?
yeah, and then I mean, like,
Even if that was disposable, that'd be worth it.
I know that's what I
at that
mean.
price. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
The
price.
disposable world sucks, but
What they really need is to like,
that's too cheap.
they need facial recognition technology that works on animals, and then they just like, you know, you get the facial recognition thing on the animal, you send the drone after them, the drone just go record the nature documentaries, and they just follow the bear around. It's like, that's the guy. Bzzz,
Didn't you
know?
get the live stream I sent
Facial
you
recognition
of
on
the
animals.
eagle? There's been this live stream going around of an eagle.
I saw
Someone
that.
has a camera set up, and they're doing a live stream like constantly, and it
Giving
showed
birth?
the eagle.
Does
the little babies,
eggs
the
Pod TV have a
hatchlings.
drone yet? Do we have a drone for Pod TV?
We don't have a
Yeah,
Pod TV
now
drone.
it
We were
shows
just
the little
talking about getting
eaglets
one.
getting fed all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, for the events and stuff.
It is
We've used other
brilliant.
people's in the past, but we were thinking about they're cheap now. So We'll get an army of them, an army of Pot TV drones, and we just send them out.
We'll probably have lots of content this year too. So
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, it's going to be. We were just talking about 420 in the other room, getting things planned, figuring out what's going to happen. It's a big job. Lots to do there.
All right,
So,
so
we got
what
a
other
lot.
dispensary news do we have from you, Jeremiah? Anything else?
Oh man, there's always lots going on. Of course, we had our grand opening of our West Broadway store here in Vancouver. It's our latest dispensary opening. Greg Marijuana Man Williams out there, and Mark was there to help open the store and do a grand opening. So that was cool. They did like a big 20% off thing or something.
Yeah, 20% off.
Yeah, for a few days. So check out the store, 3175 West Broadway here in Vancouver. More stores coming soon. I can't give away the locations yet, but we've got some out east. We've got some in the west. Lots of new stuff happening. Some right in the middle area, maybe. Yeah, a lot of interesting things happening. This is going to be a very busy year for Cannabis Culture. Expect a Cannabis Culture near you soon.
There will be lots of content on Pot TV, as we said.
Oh, yes.
Lots going on this year.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
we're really
exciting.
hitting it from every angle, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, the dispensary thing, we want dispensaries everywhere. And lounges. Not just dispensaries, because there's dispensaries everywhere. We want lounges that you can smoke in. That's going to be the model of the future, and it doesn't seem like that many people are doing it yet. So we really want to, make sure that every town in Canada has a dispensary and lounge of some sort. Not just a Cannabis Culture, but
It's
the
actually
reason we
been
fight is for everyone.
Due to
Yeah.
popular request, actually, on the lounge thing. Because whenever I mention to a customer or anybody in Vancouver or anywhere that we've got a new dispensary at this location or in this part of town, this neighborhood, this part of Canada, they always ask, is there a lounge there?
Right.
Because they would love to make the trip over and then camp out for a few hours and smoke and absorb the surroundings.
Well, it's just such a cool thing to be able to come into a public space and consume marijuana in the vicinity with other like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
Having to always hide in your house and be separated from society and all this
basements.
stuff, it really, it's kind of a downer in a way, that they were always stigmatized away from the rest of people.
It just doesn't feel healthy.
No,
No, it
it's
doesn't.
nice
It
to
never-
be social.
Cannabis never felt healthy to me until I came out into the open with it.
Right.
When I was hiding, just even as a teenager, being a
Yeah.
dumb stoner, it never felt healthy.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to hide. You shouldn't have to. We shouldn't be forced to be in our basement smoking pot. And a lot of people can't smoke at home. If you live in an apartment that's a non-smoking apartment, you're kind of screwed. They don't let you smoke in the park. You can't smoke near buildings. Like, where are you supposed to go if you
A
don't
lot
have
of
a car?
towns you can't walk down the street and smoke a joint. You
Actually,
get
a
arrested.
friend of mine was vaping on WestJet not long ago. Had the vape pen on there, and then of course had the little smoke buddy, the little pocket filter.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I've been doing in my apartment. It's non-smoking. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No,
but,
you didn't. No.
That's why I brought it up. Is because I moved into a place in Vancouver here, and it's non-smoking.
Yep.
So I just vape like crazy, and I got one of them smoke buddies, and nobody says a damn thing.
You can get those smoke buddies online at cannabisculturehq.com.
Smoke buddy.
And in any of our head shops as well.
And when you
same
vape,
with
it's
Dana
not.
Larsen's books. If you want to get a hard copy of those, you can get all of those ones online at cannabisculturehq.com as well.
Vaping doesn't really smell too bad, anyways. So when you're in your apartment and you're puffing, you might be able to
Same
just
with dabbing.
blow
When
it
I
out the
told
window
my-
or something.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting when you tell people that you can kind of get away with dabbing indoors. They're like, that's an interesting appeal to it. Like some people who
It's true.
don't necessarily like the smoking aspect.
It's the presence of the plant material in the smoke that makes it so hard to hide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're dabbing like a lot of terpenes, it's gonna smell like terpenes, but terpenes smell amazing. More and more people in the community are doing things like wearing them as cologne even, and like you can get lots of terpene candles now, and they smell so good.
I like the terpene drinks. We had that.
the terp champagne.
Terp champagne
yeah.
on
Terp champagne.
my show on
pie
Friday.
extract.
That
Yeah,
was
you
fun.
guys were
Yeah.
drinking that. I was there. I
So
never
good.
actually got to drink some.
Oh,
of
It's
that.
well,
great.
It was so tasty.
I'm gonna
Lots
grab a
of-
bottle as soon as it's available.
I just like the idea that you can smoke and then you drink a little bit and it has an added effect to it. Not just like alcohol, but from the terpenes itself.
Well, and it's carbonated, right?
You know what's
as soon as it
interesting?
gets up to your nose, it's already
Yeah.
Feel
getting
it.
up in there doing
Bubbling.
things.
We would had that conversation, and then like on your show on Friday about how the terp champagne can modulate just with the terpenes in there alone. And over this weekend, I went to get lunch with Mark, and we had a beer, and we were talking about how it's interesting that he was saying in Europe, a lot of Europeans justify drinking I could be wrong, maybe. I'm sure there will be some chatters, correct me if I am. But a lot of Europeans like to drink beer and smoke a joint because the terpene profile in the beer modifies the
Oh.
joint they're smoking.
Well, and the alcohol doesn't hurt either.
There'd probably be some good
I like to
pairings
drink.
out there.
I like joints and
You're
beer.
right.
Yeah,
I could
I
be
like really
wrong,
hoppy beer, and I have certain like flavor profiles I really like in beer,
Well, actually,
and I have certain terpene profiles I
do you-
really like in weed. So I could see that making sense together.
Take a fresh hop, like grab like the hops straight off of the bush.
Yeah.
Or off the vine or whatever, and you squeeze it between your finger, and you would you
resin.
could have a hard time telling the difference between cannabis and hops. I actually did hear a rumor somewhere that the DNA is very similar.
Same family or
They have
something like
very
that.
similar
Yeah.
medicinal
And-
properties apparently too.
Yeah, because they're both sedative. Like
Yeah.
Weed
more-
beer.
They can be more sedative. You know,
Needs to be more good weed beer.
I love hops, so
hops and cannabis are right in the same.
Yeah.
Same classification.
Can't say much
Ish.
in a
I
drink.
mean, I could be wrong. Correct me if
It's
I'm
funny.
wrong.
No wonder I
No,
like
they're
hoppy
similar,
beer so
they're
much.
similar.
Because that's the only. I love IPAs now more than anything. Like,
Yeah.
I
You're
can't-
welcome.
Yeah. Thanks, Carly Pants. Yeah. Yeah. No. I don't know. How'd that go? You need me for anything else?
No, I think we're
kinda
pretty much
gotta
done
go.
the show. We're pretty much
I gotta go do stuff. Unfortunately, you know,
Thanks
it's
for
not
hopping
just all
on.
smoking weed. Damn, that smells so good. This Blue Widow. This isn't actually on the shelf yet here, but this will be out on the shelf a little later. It's from Temple of Calyx.
at 307 West Hastings.
307 West Hastings.
On the second floor.
Yes, everything you need and the weed here
Yes.
at 307 West
And
Hastings.
the weed.
on.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a long time coming here at 307. We haven't had a dispensary before, so we're really proud to be able to have the full package deal here in the store for you guys. You know, before we were a little nervous about doing that here in the building, but everybody else and their mom has a dispensary everywhere, so it makes no sense to deny all the people that come into this building good, fine marijuana products right here on the spot. And I think either today or tomorrow we're going to be launching our weed waiters and waitresses program. So
Beautiful.
we'll have weed servers go, when you're sitting at your table here at Cannabis Culture, someone will actually give you table service. Come by and ask you if you want to buy something from the dispensary and
Full
come back with your
service.
full service.
Wow.
I'm not sure where they do that. Maybe somewhere in Amsterdam does that.
Starting to feel like VIP section over
My
here. at
friend Dakota
307.
was just over in Amsterdam, actually. Yeah, for Christmas.
It's
She-
great. I
I
love
gotta
it
get
there.
over there.
When I was there, I didn't see any dispensaries that gave you table service though. But I don't know why they don't. It's a great idea.
I just saw her sitting at a table with a cup of tea and a menu of everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, usually you have to go up to the counter to get it. And sometimes I've been to Amsterdam a couple times now, and I like their model, but it does seem a little old school still. Like it
Yeah.
seems, and I think everything in Holland kind of feels a little more rugged than some of, it's because it's very old there.
They're still going for the coffee shop kind of thing.
Right, well, it's just kind of like the buildings are so ancient there
Yeah.
that when you're there, you kind of feel like you're in Gastown or something, where everything kind of has this like old feel to it. Like the staircases are really narrow and everything's really skinny, and so there's not a lot of space. You're always like kind of crammed in. Everybody's in Europe always on your lap. There's just so many people and no space for them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a
And
different.
they hang on to their architecture too, so they just
Right.
It's all vintage buildings
Yeah.
and
You don't see a lot of modern buildings there at all. I mean, they have every once in a while a big,
Yeah.
beautiful modern building, but here in North America, all the buildings are modern pretty much, and we have there's a certain tone and feel that goes with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there it's kind of still a lot of brick, so it kind of feels like the difference between say our building here, where it's kind of more hipster-ish with the like paintings on the wall and the bricks and stuff.
down in Gastown.
Yeah, and then some of our new Cannabis Culture dispensaries, they're like, really bold, white and green, really slick looking inside.
Lots
It's a
of lights,
different
very
kind of
bright in there.
exactly bright. It has more of a modern feel to it. So we're gonna see, I think over time, some really fancy ass lounges and dispensaries. Like I swear, I'm not gonna rest until we have a Cannabis Culture lounge in Times Square,
Yeah.
and that motherfucker is gonna be like pimping.
And in airports.
And yes, and in airports, we need Cannabis Culture lounges in
Bars are
airports.
so.
Yeah. I'm serious though. Cannabis Culture hotels are coming. You watch, we're gonna do hotels.
Next
yeah,
to
place. Yeah, right next to airport.
Next
Got
to
a
the
volcano in
airport,
every
there you go.
room. A dab bar down in the lobby and all that.
Yeah.
It's got to happen, man.
No carpet.
You have your
floor, so
happy
people
hour,
don't burn it
too.
down.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yes. Yeah, make the whole building out of glass.
Buildings.
Yeah. Joint friendly. Yeah. Well, if they can make a
Cannabis-friendly building.
Yeah, non-combustible sheets, all that kind of stuff.
if they can make if they make hotels in Montreal or in Quebec out of ice, then there's got to be a way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know about an ice cannabis hotel, but yeah, burn your don't drop your joint and the whole place melts. Or
It'd be cool to like scope out some old banks and old like jailhouses and stuff like that, and then people can hotbox old jail cells.
That
and,
would
you
be
know,
fun.
because like in our hometown, of Sycamoose is actually an old RCMP
Across from,
detachment,
like-
which is owned by one of my friends, and we would party down in the jail cells. And that
Is
was
that
always-
across from Lixon Splits?
Yeah, yeah, it was the old one.
Oh.
And that was
Lixon
always fun.
Splits.
So I mean, if
That's cool.
ever things expand into the shoe swap, I mean, there's definitely a cool spot there.
there's no, they should do more themed everything. Like they should have restaurants that are in old jails that you like sit in the cell and eat your dinner.
They have
you know, or
one.
like
There probably
a
is.
little bit.
I don't know, but
Yeah, they
that's
should.
just an
I totally
example.
agree. I totally
you could have
agree.
like an Egyptian, like crazy, weird, like palaces
You know where you
from other
should go
countries
is
and
Florida.
stuff.
Florida has themed stuff everywhere. You like
I
go
love
down the
that
street
shit.
and then it's like
Gatorland.
pirate golfing, and then it's like
Yeah, like
You know,
medieval,
was
fun.
like
I
medieval
don't know.
times. The restaurant. Has anybody ever
Snoopy,
been
yeah,
there
it's-
before? And they like have a jousting show in front of you.
No.
Medieval
Alyssa
times.
and
Medieval
I
times,
were
yeah.
talking about
That
medieval
shit's
times the
good.
other day because she's from Ontario too, and I told her you were interested in going. And
I've
she
never been. I wanna go
agrees that
so
it's
bad.
To-
kind
to
of
Ontario?
overrated.
Are you all from Ontario?
I'm from Ontario.
I'm from Nanaimo,
Okay.
Vancouver
I'm
Island,
below
baby.
that.
You never been to Ontario?
Sweet.
Yeah?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've been
Like
there lots
Toronto.
of times. Yeah,
You've been all.
yeah, I go there quite often, but I've never been to medieval times though.
Oh, medieval time. Okay.
Yeah,
That's right.
medieval
Or in
times.
Ontario.
Medieval
No, just the
times.
restaurant.
I used to go to one in Peachland, just north of Penticton there. You go in, you
North
get
of
hats,
Penticton
and
there,
then-
bud.
And then there was
Right there,
so,
buddy.
yeah, right arm.
Right
But no, there was
there.
they actually had a day of the month where you could go in, and it was legit medieval rules. You could toss chicken bones on your shoulder and stuff like that.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
fun. That's exciting.
The other thing that's underused is blimps. Don't you think they should use blimps for more
Where
things?
did that
Yeah.
come from?
Blimp restaurant that you can smoke weed in, a blimp vapor
You
lounge.
should do
like
some
Yeah,
blimp
the Led
advertisements
Zeppelin
on
restaurant.
as long as it's
420.
yeah.
Smoke weed.
Does that seem maybe that seems like a bad idea, aren't they? Like extremely flammable and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're under filled with like gas.
Yeah.
No,
the
no.
Hindenburg Lounge.
I'm,
you
know
could
what,
call
I'm
it.
thinking of an archer.
You could call it the
They were
Hindenburg
saying
Lounge.
It's not flammable in it, is it?
That'd be
Blimp
awesome.
is different than a zeppelin. The zeppelins are the one that's filled with the flammable glass.
Probably. I
gas.
think they stopped filling
Okay.
them with whatever hydrogen or whatever was the most flammable thing on the
My
planet
reference
that they
is
put
archer,
inside of
though,
it.
so I could be wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going off of.
There, I figure they're
Back when
past.
everybody smoked indoors and they had a smoking lounge, they literally had like the smoking cigarette lounge on, you know.
On a hydrogen blimp.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, perfect, genius. Yeah, just don't fly too close to the Eiffel Tower, and you'll be okay.
Well, history will tell you. Even if it
Well,
doesn't
anyways, I don't know.
happen yet.
We're off on quite a tangent there. aren't
We
we?
are. We're just gonna let's
Limp.
just do some dabs.
Yeah,
and
are we
wrap
gonna
up.
dab some more? Because I brought some rosin
Let's
from the
do some of
Davy
this
location
rosin.
here. From
Yeah.
1674 Davy. We got Shatter Shack did a drop on some wicked rosin.
Nice.
The old
Let's try
school
some of
haze,
this.
which we are yet to find out the lineage on that haze.
Let's show it off.
Shatter
on
Shack.
It's dank anyhow, whatever it comes from.
Doesn't
It's
the
dank.
Shatter
you.
Shatter Shack
green
have a
cracker.
store in Victoria, or am I wrong?
I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I'm
not sure, brother.
Oh, okay. Somebody does. Somebody has a shack-like
Well,
store.
It's
I've
not
yet to get
actually
over
in
to
there.
Victoria.
In the Cannon Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to show it off on
There's
camera?
something.
Sure.
There's something else coming to the Cannon Mall, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to
It's
tell you
not in
yet.
there.
Oh, the shatter. I don't know. Oh, I think Alyssa's our resident expert on getting. the exposure
Where's the
right on
shatter?
cameras. We've got this is the.
That's the old
haze.
school? Okay, perfect.
And then this
There-
is the God's
Ooh.
green cracker, the God's cracker. God bud, whatever.
Mm. God's
Okay,
crack
I'm just
must be
gonna-
big.
And yeah, you guys should certainly have some of
Oh
that.
my god.
And then of course we were dabbing on the Temple of Calyx Clarity, which is the 4 times distilled.
That's the bomb shit.
It's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's right
And if
here.
what I've noticed with that stuff is just dabbing out of your heady rig with your quartz banger, that distill will actually mostly vaporize.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you go to swab it out
Yeah.
with a Q-tip afterwards.
There's
and you're
nothing
like,
left.
There.
"Oh."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice.
That's the shit.
But I like to mix it with my hash and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It's just THC.
Yeah, man. It's a good mix with everything.
It is a
It
good
just
mix.
gets me so blitzed, though.
Yeah.
Even a small amount of it, I was like, oh,
I'm
Lord.
gonna set the mic down for a
Yeah.
second.
Oh,
do a
Oh.
dab.
I'll get another one set up. We'll just get as many going as we can and wrap this
Dab
up
it
with some dabs.
up. What time is it on the clock here?
Yeah, we ran. It was a long show today. I had so many interesting people to talk to. Thanks again to Rachel from Ganjasana, and you can follow them at Instagram. You can go to their website as well. Thanks again to Dana Larsen. You can find his books at greenbudsandhash.com. You can also find his books at cannabisculturehq.com. And you can also read about him online at danalarsen.com. Who else came on today? Oh, Brittany Anne Guerra is on as well today. Thank you so much. Well, she gave us a video interview. So thank you for coming by, and congratulations on 2 months anniversary Cannabis Culture Hamilton. Thank you, Jeremiah Vandermeer, for coming on, talking about our new dispensary at 307 West Hastings, and Bryson as well. Would you like to be called by Bryson or the Artifact? What do you like to be plugged as? What's your
Bryson's
weed handle?
good.
Bryson's good.
Bryson's good. Yeah. The Artifact's cool too, but I probably
Bryson 5000.
Yeah, it would take me a while. Bryson 5000 is way cooler than
Bryson
Bryson.
5000. That's what I'm gonna call you. From
That
now
could even be an Instagram tag. That'd be kind of cool. That's quite gratifying.
You like that one, Bryson? It just came to my mind.
Makes you feel like a transformer.
Exactly.
That if you like.
Yeah, we could. Bryson Tron would be good
That,
too.
Just about.
Bryson Tron.
Drop that in there for you, brother.
That's trippy.
Okay, I'm gonna sing this. Sorry. All right, and thank you for coming on as well.
Yep.
Your first show as our official co-host.
Yep.
Very exciting.
I'll be here.
Thank
Keep
you
up the
again
good work.
for coming on. And where can people follow you online?
Bcbudgal, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Massroots. Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ooh, that was nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Do you want to plug yourself, Alyssa? We don't give you a chance to do that. You
Plug
wanna
yourself,
plug
Alyssa.
No.
Go plug yourself. Alyssa.com.
Do you want to promote yourself?
How do we
Yeah.
find you, Alyssa?
How do we find you, boss?
Bosslyssa.ca.
Hi. Yes. No. At Boss Lissa, at the various things. I'm
Ah.
on the Facebook as not that. Myself
As not that.
as not that.
Your name is not that. Capital N,
I
capital
go
T,
by
capital T.
Alyssa in general, but you know, they like to throw around Boss Lissa, which I'm into.
Yes.
She doesn't hate it.
No, why would you hate that? I only hate on things that are bad. And yeah. Hi.
Boss Lissa, show producer,
Boss Lissa,
extraordinaire,
We got-
Cash and checks
Pod
and
TV
breaking
What-
in.
who else?
producer,
What else? I mean,
many a
This one's the old
show.
school.
Okay.
Old school haze. I'm gonna dab now. Did everyone get an end of show dab?
Yeah.
I did.
Well, I'm gonna drop mine right. Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I guess I
And then the Moda chocolate that we ate really
Oh, yeah.
fast. So you can check them out on Instagram. I think it's at moda.green.meds3.0. And then we also have a Facebook page, which is Moda Cannabis Products too. And also their website.
And big, Canadabs, thanks to the old wipes there.
Yeah, brought those.
Keep this
as
place
well.
clean.
You can also get those on cannabisculturehq.com as well. So if you're not like in the community you have access to those cool handy dab tools, they're very, very useful. So
Everything you need. And the weed.
I'll be at our
No, no,
Davy
no.
spot until midnight, so come come chill with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, come
Come
sesh.
chill with us.
1674 Davy Street, Vancouver.
We have some pretty wicked calm vibes over there,
yeah. Nice
as well as our
peachy flow.
307 West Hastings location.
Dog friendly over at Davy and pet friendly in general,
Yeah,
right?
bring your
Yeah.
dogs. We'll give them a treat.
Is it just dogs? Can they
We'll
bring
give 'em a
can you
treat.
bring your cat? Or your pet squirrel, for instance?
Squirrels would be interesting.
I think that they should be okay as long as they don't like fight or attack.
Well, what
you know?
I don't know.
Constrictor?
Do squirrels and dogs share the same years? Like are 7 squirrel years the same as 7 dog
Probably,
years and
yeah.
vice versa?
I think
I
it
don't know.
depends. I think old dogs are okay with squirrels, but puppies will chase a squirrel.
Yeah. Bring a squirrel in there, it might be a problem. As long
Yeah.
as he's on a leash and has a muzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I
Squirrel,
would want to
little
bring
squirrel
my
muzzle.
heady glass to a lounge where I knew that there was going to be squirrels and dogs in the same area.
Squirrels are
that
cool.
seems like a bit of a risk.
Actually, we have one of our patrons who comes on jam night and jams out with us. He has sugar flyers. They're from
those
Australia.
look so cool.
And yeah, he'll come into the dispensary and he'll have them under his coat.
What is a sugar flyer?
It's a
Under his
little rodent
Oh.
from Australia, and it's like a flying squirrel.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they're really cool. But yeah,
So there
you're-
are squirrels there.
Yeah.
They just
Oh my
fly.
goodness.
Yeah,
Along
we have
with
one of our
That's
other
crazy.
dangerous things.
Super animal.
Yeah, they're quite
Flying
tame.
squirrel.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I would
like-
I would just chuck them and
Go. Yeah,
You know?
go.
wow.
Yeah, go
That's-
get me a
Season's
beer.
gonna be very high. Thank you. That's super
Grab my-
tasty.
Once again, I missed my temp.
Oh, talking too much. That's what happens.
And then the glass artists, that's Stabby Joe. We got Culprit Glass, JS Carb Cap, and is that Kay Hamilton?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Miss Envy CBD isolate as well.
Yes.
Oh,
super
that
tasty.
stuff's nice.
And Cannabis Extraction Shatter.
And 307 West Tastings.
That's
Cannabis, super
right.
tasty.
307.
Blue
Get your
Widow,
weed.
Temple.
Blue Widow, Temple of
Oh
Calyx.
my goodness. And you can follow me at Carly Marley 420 on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as well. Be sure to tune in to the 420 Lifestyle every Monday. On Wednesdays, you can find From Under the Influence now? Is it
Yes.
Influence now? Okay.
Yes. Back to
From Under
front.
the Influence
The
with,
C desk is now closed.
yes, with Marijuana Man out. Well, it's not closed, but
It is closed.
no, it's moved.
Oh well, right. It's the seed desk is now not in our Cannabis Culture building
Yes,
anymore. But
it is
Vancouver
moved.
Seed Bank still exists. Yes, and they're now over. They don't actually have a public. It's not really a public office, but they're not. You know, they don't have a sign or anything like that on the street. But you can find it. I don't have their address, but it's downtown here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it'll be available at their website,
goodness.
vancouverseedbank.com.
Stoned.
And Thursday, watch expert.
Oh, and Kush Queen's on
Craig.
Wednesday, too. Don't forget about Kush Queen if we didn't say her name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of
We-
course. It's Marijuana Man, Al the Alchemist, and
And
Ms.
Kush
Kush
Queen.
Queen.
Also,
Whose whose 2017 calendar you can now get online at cannabisculturehq.com. Go buy it. It's awesome. It's
Dope
got
calendar.
really, really beautiful photography.
She's a
really
pretty
well
girl,
made.
pretty pictures.
Yeah, she did
That's
a really good
dope
job
ass
putting
calendar.
it together. So.
Sexy AF.
Yeah, if you're looking
AF.
for very beautiful cannabis activists to put up on your wall.
Also, get looking at the calendar. 420s in 4 months.
Yeah.
Talk to your bosses about having 420 off. Don't tell them. You don't have to tell them what's going on.
I
Yes.
just need
But,
April 20th
20th
off, please.
Yeah, so take off April 20th. Come to Vancouver. Also, think about volunteering at 420 too.
Please think, yes, and come down and do volunteer. Decide to volunteer when you think about it.
Yes.
And come on, and if you do want to volunteer for 420, you can come right down to this building and see me, or send me an email at jeremiah@cannabisculture.com, or you can visit cannabisculture.nationbuilder.com, and there's a sign-up sheet there. Anybody who signs up for 420 at that location gets added to the list. We'll get you involved straight away with what we're doing down here.
And
So-
we're going to start putting the warnings out every once in a while from now on to put the bug in your ear, because a lot of the friends that I tried dragging to Vancouver for 420, they said they're going to go. They didn't actually put the time aside. Then when it came down to it, they saw all my pictures that I was posting from in front of the stage, and they were jealous.
Yep.
So make sure you come out, because it was like a little Woodstock.
It's
Gotta be-
amazing.
It is.
It's
It's
so much
amazing.
fun.
Oh, it's amazing.
A lot of people.
So- Yeah, and then Thursday we've got Expert Joints with Craig X. Friday we've got Cannabis Culture News Live with this guy over
This
there,
big bag of weed.
Weed.
Jeremiah Vandermeer, and Johnny B. And
Yep.
Monday we're
Hosted
back
by the bag of
again
weed.
with me and
And
Bcbudgal. So tune in then. See you guys later. Peace. Love.
Keep up the
Toodles.
good work, Pod TV.
Peace.
Stay high.